Hey Shooby-Doodlers, how are you doing? This is going to be a slightly strange video because it's mostly about music production, nothing to do with drawing, but it does have quite a lot to do with drawing. I had a message a little while ago from Hilo, who says, I'm an artist, stroke DJ, stroke producer. I studied music production at Icon Collective at the age of 19 years old. Now I'm 22. I felt so creative before Icon, and when I got in Icon, I used to throw sounds into Ableton, which is a kind of music software program, and get a huge song with 100 and more tracks from just throwing ideas, and I believed those songs could get me into spinning records or any label I wanted. Throwing. Hilo, you've said it yourself, throwing. So I looked up Ableton and it says it's fantastic software with artificial intelligence for music mixing, etc., etc. And you use the word throwing. Now you have used the word throwing twice. I used to throw sounds into Ableton, throwing ideas. Now you throw pots on a potter's wheel and then you kind of work it and you work it and you work it. Throwing sounds around is just that, it's throwing sounds around. It's not that creative, especially in something as advanced and technical as Ableton. Now the sad fact is that anybody these days can get hold of software like Ableton, and within a week of sort of getting used to it, they'll be able to throw stuff in there and it will sound absolutely amazing. And if you put 100 tracks in there, it's just going to be massively overproduced. My instinct when I first read this was to say to Hilo, go back on Netflix or something, or YouTube, and find The Beatles, A Hard Day's Night, and there is a scene in there where they go into a studio, they got 3 guitars and drums and a 2-track tape recorder. And this is like the Abbey Road studios, you know, when you see the Beatles walking outside on the crossing. This is EMI's top recording studio. It had 2 tracks. And they go in there and they play it in 4 minutes flat. Recorded, done, off to the printing press to get that vinyl pressed. And that's what they did in those days. And they could do that because they had written the song and they played it and they played it and they worked it and they'd shaped it and they'd rehearsed it and got it absolutely right, to the point where this is the song that they want to do. If you start off with a mixing bowl and you start shoving stuff in there, you're just going to get a mix. So, you know, how does this relate to pens and pencils? A lot of people contact me and say, what is that pen you're using? Oh, I really want, you know, let me know. If I had your pen, I'd be able to draw like you. No, you won't be able to draw like me. You'll be able to draw with that pen in your style at the level that you have reached. A pen is not going to magically transform your creativity. You have to put the work in, and the new pen, you know, you really have to learn how to use it. And the same with something like Ableton. And I would suggest you go back to Ableton and allow yourself 2 tracks, maybe 4, because they used to do a bit of bouncing. They used to do 2 tracks, bounce them across to another one, and then they'd fill up 1 track, and then they'd do, so you could have 3 tracks maybe. Try and do it with 3 tracks. Adele, she did that fantastic song, multi-million selling song, her voice and a piano. That's all you need to create a #1 top selling, multi-million earning song. So what you need to do is decide, are you a technician, in which case you're a studio technician and you're kind of getting stuff around and you show you're doing all the mixing for other people? Are you a producer, in which case you're kind of somewhere in the middle and you're sort of telling the technician what to do and adding your little bit on top of the creative artist stuff and kind of pulling them together and sort of keeping them tight? Or are you a creative artist? And I kind of feel that's kind of what you want to be, in which case it's not about the mix, it's about the raw materials. And that's what you have to produce. You need to produce melodies, songs, hook lines, stuff like that, which is the stuff that other people are going to sample. You're just sampling stuff and throwing it in there. Other people have done the work for you already, and Ableton's artificial intelligence is smushing it up so it sounds great. But if you're just throwing stuff in there, other people have done the work. And I quite often say about drawing from photographs, and people say to me, "Oh, I can copy photographs. I can do." That's because the photographer has done the work already. The photographer has got the creative eye. They've seen this thing and they have got the lighting perfect. They've put everything of their soul into this fantastic photograph, and you go, "Wow, that's amazing," and draw it and copy it exactly and show people, say, "Look what I've done." And of course it's amazing because somebody has already done the work for you. You're just sampling. To be able to just sit down in front of something and draw it, that takes work. To be able to sit down at a piano and just pick out tunes and create hook lines, to sort of work it out to the right rhythm, to get the feel, to get the balance of the song, to get the lyrics, to actually mean something that means something to people, that they're going to want to buy it, that they're going to want to have it played at their weddings and their birthdays and their funerals. You've got to put soul into that. It's not going to be just thrown into the mix. It doesn't happen. You need to decide what you want to be. And I think this works with kind of artists. I've been asked a few questions recently that's got me thinking, so when I started, I was very much a technician, I think. And I was doing paste up for printing, being very, very technical, doing sort of boring, repetitive stuff, sort of progressing slowly. But all those skills that I learned were really, really useful as I came along. But what I really wanted to do was to write my own books, to create my own books and illustrate my own books. And that takes time and it takes effort. And a lot of people, they come up so far, and they either don't stick with it, they don't believe in themselves, something or other, but some of them will maybe stay in the business and become sort of more facilitators, maybe editors, art editors, that kind of thing, and will be helping other artists to create their dream, and they'll be kind of part of that. And then maybe along the way they will kind of get their own style. But other artists in all sorts of genres, in music, illustration, painting, whatever, stick to it. And they work at it and work at it to develop their own style. And if that is what you have to do, your mentors are absolutely right. And I'm sure you're feeling, "Oh, those people, I hate them." But they do have your best interests at heart. And if you're not going to make it, I think it's right that they should tell you so that you can reset yourself and get yourself on that track and decide exactly where you want to go, how much you are prepared to invest. I'm sure this place, Icon, you've invested a huge amount just going to that place to start off with. But listen to what they say and go back and say, "What exactly did you mean?" And say, "Will you sit down with me and say, are the bits that you think are me, can you point them out?" So that you can go, "Oh, right, that bit's me, and you can start working on that rather than this great big mush that you're kind of obviously putting out there at the moment. Ask them just get hold of those tiny bits and work at them in 3-4 tracks at a time, and don't just keep it really, really simple. And if you can create something with 3 or 4 tracks that is really catchy and really kind of hooks people and people like, then you can start building, and then you can start orchestrating and kind of building this big stereophonic kind of thing around it. But it has to have heart right from the start. That's a rather strange video from me. It was a rather strange question that came to me. But anyway, thanks for watching. And if you've got sort of questions about creativity and you're a bit stumped about things and you don't know quite where to go, then put them down in the comments box below and I'll see if I might be of some help, because I've been around the block once or twice, so I might have had the same problem and be able to sort of help you out. Okay, thanks for watching. Keep coming back to the Shoe Rainer Drawing channel, and in the meantime, keep drawing, mixing, and I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye-bye.